Hey everyone, you join me in the heat of battle at Lime Rock Park, where I'm currently running P6 in this fiercely aggressive Low Fuel Motorsport Mazda MX-5 Cup race on Assetto Corsa. We've just started lap 3 and it is rough out here. Watch the two cars in front. They're coming together into this right-hander. Manuel Barrero nudged out towards the barrier. Pablo Lopez Molina right in front of me is now alongside Barrera. There's contact. Molina is sideways. I just managed to avoid getting collected. Ruben Roca to my right. Oh no, I wasn't prepared for Alexandra Dominguez rejoining from the left, and now all hell has broken loose. Well, I thought I'd had a lucky escape there, but it wasn't to be. Oh no, I'm a sitting duck now, drilled once again from behind. That's it, that's race over. The car is destroyed. Let's take another look at this one. Molina in the purple on the inside, Barrero on the outside. Molina is sent into a spin by the contact. Now, I did really well to avoid getting caught up in that, but watch the rejoin from the left. I had no chance there. Even if I had managed to anticipate the rejoin in advance, I was already 3 wide. I had Ruben Roca to my right, another car to the right of him. There just wasn't space for one more car. And that's where I get dealt the final blow. Right, let's take another look at it. We're watching Dominguez this time. Through no fault of his own, he's forced out onto the grass. But yeah, coming back onto the track there was always going to end in disaster. There was just no way I could have moved over and given him space to rejoin. I had 2 cars on my inside. One of them was Ruben Roca, we're riding on board with now. That's me in front, hard on the brakes to avoid Molina. Now we're side by side, I'm to the left, and that's the point where Dominguez rejoins. Now, Roca was in the middle there. We were already 3 wide going up over the brow of that hill, and on this narrow Lime Rock Park circuit, there's just not room for 4. And from this wide angle, we can see 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th get through unscathed. After that, it is a mess, a complete mess. Most of the field wiped out here. My race was done. I finished all the way down in 23rd and took a big hit to my safety rating. Now that is a real concern. Safety rating also counts towards ACC in LFM, so I can't afford another catastrophe like this one. But what's the best way to avoid the carnage? That's right, qualify further up, and I have done just that. I've claimed my first ever Assetto Corsa pole position for this 2nd race. My lap time of 56.8 is just 1/10 quicker than John Fano alongside me on the front row. The pair of us, the only drivers on the track to get into the 56s. So can I stay at the front of the pack? Can I claim my first ever victory in Assetto Corsa? We're about to find out. Well, we were held on the red lights for what seemed like an age, but this race finally is underway. Now, can I get to turn 1 in front? Can I take the whole shot here from pole position? If there's one thing we learned from race 1, it is the importance of having a clear track in front, and that's exactly what I've got as I exit the 1st corner. John Fano behind, already applying pressure, so I go ultra defensive into this left-hander. I don't want to give Fano any opportunity to make a move here. I know that if I leave even the smallest of gaps, Fano will go for it, and if Fano goes for it, chances are there'll be 3 or 4 more opportunistic drivers behind who'll try and squeeze into the same gap, so it is absolutely vital that I stay out in front here. Long-time viewers of CR Sim Racing will know that I've not always dealt particularly well with this sort of pressure, but I have got experience in it now. Last month I led an ACC race at Alton Park from start to finish, and I had some immense pressure to deal with there. Hopefully I can use that experience to my advantage. A little nudge from Fano, he's just letting me know he's there as we come down the start-finish straight to begin lap 2. Once again I'm going ultra defensive into the 1st corner, trying as hard as I possibly can to fend off Fano through these early stages. I'm a little bit wide on exit. That is going to give Fano the opportunity to pull alongside, so once again really defensive into this left-hander. I'm making it as difficult as is possible for Fano to find a way through here, and for now it looks like I've done it. That gap up to 1 second, so Fano lost a bit of time exiting that corner. Now, remember what I said about the importance of having a clear track in front of you? Check out what happened just behind us on lap 1. This was the first instant, but then it got even worse. Once again, we see another huge pile-up that takes out the majority of this grid. At least in the first race, we made it to the 3rd lap. This time around, we've not even completed 1 lap, and we have seen a huge, huge wreck. And if I'd qualified in my usual starting position of P6 to P10, the chances are I would have been right in the middle of that. Thankfully, I put it on pole position and I am still out in front. We're rejoining the live action on lap 4. And I am starting to gap John Fano now. He's more than 1 second behind, but shortly I'm going to have to deal with my first back marker, Jose Luis Sanchez. And as I come out of the right-hander, Sanchez has lost it right in front. I've got no option but to go onto the grass to avoid ramming Sanchez there, and that is going to wipe out the advantage that I've built up over Fano. Oh, clip the curb on the inside now. That's going to unsettle me going up over the brow of the hill. And yeah, what a fright that was. Let's check out the replay. Sanchez losing it completely, coming out of that right-hander, slides across the centre of the track. I've got no choice but to take to the grass. And as we return to the live action, unfortunately, John Fano's Mazda looks a lot bigger in my rearview mirror now than it did a lap ago. He's just 0.4 of a second back as we come into the final turn to end this 4th lap. We can see just how close he's getting on the TV cam, top right. He is within tow now, which leaves me with no choice but to go back to my defensive strategy. So once again, I'm taking the tight line into turn 1. It leaves Fano with no choice but to go wide through this turn. Now it's important I keep a car lengths advantage, because now I've got to switch to the inside line for this upcoming left-hander. Once again, blocking the line off, working really hard here to keep Fano at bay. It is working for now, but the gap is just 0.1 of a second. There's contact again coming out of the right-hander. And look how close Fano is now. He is swarming all over my rear end, just 0.1 of a second behind. Having a look up the inside as we come through this next right-hander. Thankfully, I was just far enough ahead to hold on. But if I thought the pressure was tough before, it is now relentless. Coming through the penultimate turn then, just 0.2 of a second between us. And I'm going to have no choice but to once again go ultra defensive coming down the start-finish straight. This is one of the best overtaking opportunities on the track. There is a load of extra speed to be had if you can pick up a toe, so I'm staying tight here. I'm going to send Fano out wide. Oh no, there's a back marker just coming out of pit lane at the worst possible time. I had to abort my defensive line, and that has lost me first position. Yeah, I was concentrating so hard on John Fano, I didn't see the back marker Sinanuka until it was too late. And yeah, this pit lane exit at Lime Rock Park takes you straight out onto the defensive line that I was planning to take into turn 1. And as soon as I saw Ukar, I had to get on the brakes a little bit earlier than I was planning, and also swing out into the middle of the track to get around him safely. So really unfortunate timing that. But fair play to Ukar, he did absolutely nothing wrong. He tried his very best to stay out the way. It was just really, really unlucky. I've been in that situation many a time. You come out of pit lane only to see the leaders of the race charging down the start-finish straight. It is terrifying. So yeah, I've got sympathy for Sinan Ukar there. But let's get back to the race, because the chaser is now being chased, and we're about to see just how well John Fano can cope with the same amount of pressure that he applied on me earlier in this race. The gap 0.3 of a second. I just lost a tenth or two coming up over the brow of the hill there, but I am within striking distance here. I will pick up a toe coming out of the final turn. It'll be interesting to see how Fano approaches this. Will he take the same defensive line that I did? I suspect he will. So my game plan will be to swing it around the outside, try and carry some extra momentum with the wider line and keep myself alongside, so I'll get the inside into the left-hander. Well, that's how it looks in theory, at least. In practice, it might be flawed because I've run it in too deep and just clipped the gravel. Oh, dirty tyres. I've lost control. Keep it out of the barrier. Keep it out of the barrier. Back on track, but I've lost second position now. Well, that didn't go according to plan, did it? I now find myself in third place. Kamil Jurasek taking full advantage of this mistake. Now, I had the plan of going around the outside to carry as much momentum as I possibly could. I carried too much momentum. That grass on the outside pulls you in like a magnet if you take that wider line. I got dirty tyres, and that caused me to almost lose control. So I'm rejoining the live action now, approaching halfway distance of the race, and I've now got 0.8 of a second to close in to try and get that second position back. John Fano, the leader, is clear. He is 4 seconds down the road. So I suspect my hopes of a race win are over, but I can still get this second position back. I know I'm quicker than Jurasek ahead, and in fact, he has made exactly the same mistake as I did a lap ago. He is even wider, all 4 tyres onto the grass. That is going to take him a long time to get back onto the tarmac. So reclaiming P2 was easier than I thought it was going to be. We'll jump forward now to 2/3 race distance. Fano the leader, still 3.5 seconds down the road. Yellow flags are out. I'm hoping that he may have made a mistake, but it's not. It's a back marker. It's Sanchez again, actually. So Sanchez having a nightmare of a race, going across track the wrong way. Right, cast your mind back to my ACC race last week. I threw away second position by pushing too hard, and I almost make the same mistake here. Fano is 4 seconds clear now. We've only got 5 minutes of the race left, so there's absolutely no need for me to be pushing this hard, and I almost lose control going up over the brow of the hill. Somehow I managed to keep it out of the barrier, but that was a really scary moment. I'm still all out of shape as we approach the end of the lap, but it was at that very moment when I decided no more pushing. I am going to take this second position. So yeah, I eased right off during the final quarter of this race. I maintained a healthy 7-second advantage over Camille Durasek behind, but I was more than 5 seconds behind the race winner John Fano as we crossed the line. So I'll have to wait a little bit longer for my first Assetto Corsa victory, but this was still a race of firsts. My first pole position and my first podium in AC. Congratulations to John Fano, he deserved the win. He was the fastest man on track with a 56.6 compared to my 56.7, but the pair of us were well quicker than anyone else on the track. Most importantly though, I managed to avoid another safety rating drop, so I'm still in a healthy position for when I return to Assetto Corsa Competizione later this week. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Cheers for now.